Call this meeting to order of the Zoning Board of Adjustments on Wednesday, December 11th, 2024, and we do have a quorum present. The first item is approval of minutes dated August 7th, 2024. May I have a motion, please?
And just to clarify, this is actually to consider corrections to the minutes of August 2024. I just wanted to give a brief explanation. There were two erroneous references to the Planning and Zoning Commission that we're switching to be the Zoning Board of Adjustment.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
John, second. May we have a vote?
Well, I mean,
Did it pop
I
up?
don't think it's saying I can do it yet.
Motion passes 5-0. The second item is approval of minutes dated August 28th, 2024 for the special called meeting. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve.
Rick, second motion.
I'll second.
John, second. May we have a vote? Motion passes 5-0. The third item is a public hearing, consideration of a variance request to allow a second-story addition to an existing detached garage to encroach approximately 7 feet into the required 10-foot rear yard setback located at 1213 Holy Grail Drive, legally described as Castle Hills, Phase 1, Section A, Block A, Lot 1, Zoned Plan Development, Town Estate, PD-TE, as requested by Dan Norfleet, the property owner, case number 24-11-6-ZBOA.
Good evening, Commissioners. If we haven't met yet, I'm Grace. I'm one of the planners here at the city. And this case was requested by Dan Norfleet, as you mentioned. They are a property owner in Castle Hills. Here is the map of where the property is located. And to give you some context, this is an existing subdivision. It was platted in 1999 with a 10-foot rear setback. It should be on this left screen here. And at that, 1 year later, all of the homes in the subdivision were built. And this detached garage is existing on the site. And this garage that is currently here encroaches 7 feet into that rear setback. And so what the property owners are requesting to do is to not expand the area, but to add a second story to this existing garage on top to be a dwelling unit for their in-laws to stay. Some images of that. Additionally, just for context, this encroachment is within some utility easements. They have received approval from the various utility companies who would be affected by this encroachment to build here. Those are included in this packet. We've also received approval from the Homeowners Association. So you can see there's the setback, and here's where the garage encroaches. Here is some of the exhibits they submitted showing what the second story addition will look like. And you can see in terms of how this fits with the neighborhood context, how it's oriented. We'll be facing this main home, and it won't have too much impact towards the rear. There's minimal windows around the sides of the home that are going to be facing out. The majority of the windows are facing that main home and the yard. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about this project. The property owner is also here. We did receive one call in opposition of this project.
Where was that opposition in relation to this property? Did they give an address?
I do believe the neighbor was here, and so I think he wishes to speak tonight, and so.
Oh, okay, they're here.
Once we open up, once
Okay.
we open up the hearing, so if it's okay, I'll just let him express that.
Great.
So at this time, I'll open it to public hearing, and anyone wishing to speak, please come forward and just state your name and address for the record.
I can approach?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Can I set this here? I actually own the property, well, the bank actually owns the property, but we're basically, I have elderly in-laws who we are trying to give them a place to stay, is all we're really trying to do, and keep them close to us so that we don't have to pay for care in the future. So really, we're creating basically a mother-in-law suite above our garage. If I could do it in the house, I would, but this is going to sound rather sexist, and I apologize, but women being what they are, and my wife and her mom, keeping separate kitchens is kind of important for them. So that's kind of what we're doing to make sure that they both are comfortable where they're living. They'll be there probably 6 months out of the year. We can't use it for anything. It's not a secondary address. It's simply going straight up from our existing garage. So all we're trying to do is take care of our family. So hopefully that you all feel that's acceptable and can approve this. The other thing I would say is that there are multiple mother-in-law suites within our housing development that I can get references from that have built these. I don't quite know, other than the variance that's been there for 30 years, why it would be an issue. So thank you. If there's any question, I'm happy to answer.
No, I just had a quick question. Did you build this garage?
No, sir. It's
After
been there
the
for
house was
30
built?
years.
So it was there when you moved in?
Yes, sir.
The detached garage was there?
Yes, sir. All we're looking to do is adding to the top of it. There are basically 2 houses that can even see it, really, from where we are, because we have trees all down one side of our house. And even this rendering doesn't give it quite justice, because from the north side, I have a breezeway that covers part of that, and I have a pool down there, and I have trees along that side. I mean, you can't even see this thing, really, unless you're right behind it, which the unit right behind us is a rental unit by somebody else. There's a sheriff, I think it's a sheriff's deputy that lives up to my southeast, who we're friends with. I don't quite understand why it would be an issue for anyone.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I think you're just waiting for approval for you to be able to get
From
your
y'all.
permit. Okay, to start.
Y'all are the only thing holding us up right now. The HOA has already signed off on it. I think there was one, maybe 2 board members that had concerns. Their concerns related around you guys allegedly. I don't quite know why, but other than that, the HOA has signed off on it. All of the people who actually are affected by this easement have signed off on it, so.
So you have, just one more question. So you've talked to your neighbors on both sides and,
I only have one neighbor on one side.
okay, and everybody, no one's,
I've never even asked them because it doesn't even impact them. They can't even see it from their side because the tree's in their own garage and our house.
okay, okay.
So the only neighbor that is even close to us is, there's an alleyway between us, and they're a rental.
Okay, good, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So was there an opposition from someone?
Are you,
I'm fine. Is there opposition from somebody?
so if you want to have a seat.
Oh, I-
Yeah, if you, are you guys done asking questions?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's straightforward.
Good evening. My name is Patrick McGlone. I'm at, not really a neighbor, but I'm across the alley at an adjacent parcel at Castle Hills, South Point. My address is 2401 Damsel Eve Drive. And yeah, if you show the site
aerial,
plan, it'll be
yeah.
very easy to see.
I can actually go to the aerial because I think you're on there.
Yeah.
Zoom in a little bit here. Pardon me, everyone, just one. Wow, my goodness.
So that's my home, the kind of diagonal southeast view from the subject property. So when we bought that house, we paid a lot premium, and I'm open to that side, the greenbelt side. So if you can tell, I designed my home to orient the views to the west, northwest. And I've got photos to support this if anyone wants to look at photos. So it's just that my views would be impacted, because right now I've designed my house, my views, when I walk out my backyard, I look and I've got the green belt, I can see the western sunset, I've got the beautiful trees there, and it's one story, and then the property just to the north is a one-story, kind of 1.5-story carriage house that's tucked back. And so it's really 200 or 300, 400 feet till I see a 2-story from that location. So I just feel that if it's going to happen. If you're going to build, you're going to build it. But I'm wondering if we could push it back and respect the initial property line, because number one, that would push the structure a little farther from my view, mitigate my hardship in my view. And then secondly, if you look at the back, I don't know if you can show the back elevation, but it would also then create a break in the back elevation instead of a brick wall along the alley, because a lot of us use that alley every day to walk our dogs. Can I move this, or?
Yeah.
Let's see. Last sheet, I think. Yeah, there it is.
I can just zoom out so we can.
Ironically enough, I design homes. So I looked at this and I saw an opportunity that all the livable square footage could still be accommodated, but that side of the home with a bath and kitchen, let me go to the floor plan, that would be, and the walk-in closet, that would be the part that is over the setback line. If that were pushed, shorten the front balcony to the house, you could still get all the livable area in there, but you get a break, the structure's pushed a little farther away, and then it creates a break in the back facade of more interest as you walk your dog or walk that's the main pathway to get to Castle Hills Village Shops. It's used quite frequently. That's really my input I have on that. I just feel like it does it will impact our views.
Let me see. So anyone else to come forward? I think you're...
And like I said, I've got photos which kind of show my view from the backyard. I did a sketch of how this could work with if you actually built it on the back setback line. So I didn't just look at it and say, I don't want this to happen. I'm trying to make it a win-win.
Okay. Yeah, we can take a look at the pictures.
Okay, first of all, here's the sketch. So this is the back. The bottom is the back of the carriage house, which faces the alley. If you look at the site plan, it kind of angles, the setback kind of angles.
Right.
And that's why it created that, push that side back to where that part looks like it would fit in the setback line, and then you create a facade shift. A
Right.
little more interest as you look at it, which I'd be looking at every day.
What is the measurement between that area you're saying you want to set it back? Is that 5 foot, 10 foot?
It's really the depth of the porch, which I think it's 7 feet, 6 to 7 feet. And honestly, if part of it's still over, it's still kind of accomplishing my goal is pushing it farther away and then creating interest. I can show a photo too.
No.
Thank you.
So at this point, we'll close the public hearing and check with the board members to see if we have any questions.
I have no questions.
I have no questions.
I do have a question. On your design,
Yes.
hold on. Even if he did this pushback, or even without it, if he had windows put in the back, or, you know, have something that is not just a full brick wall.
I
would
need,
the design
We have to
be able
step
do that?
can you step back to the dais here? Yeah. And then would you mind just speaking, so I can't quite hear what you're saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
So my question is, without doing the setback that you're requesting or that you're suggesting, and he put windows or something to break up the brick wall that you're worried about, would
Well-
that help him without having to physically move what he's already got planned for that house? Because it's, while your design is not bad, it's not what he's looking for his family.
I understand. It's not really adding windows, it's that it's just a facade, and then the actual fascia line is all the way, so there's no undulation, it's just there, and because it would be encroaching over, it's even more there, kind of almost to the fence line on the back of the lot. So the first thing I had was, if you push it more forward into the actual setback, it's farther away from my views. It gets hidden by the edge of those trees a little bit more, because it really is visible. It would be visible now. That would just, the resultant of that would create a little bit of interest on the back. I think the windows, if you had the windows, yeah, there's windows, but it's still like one big, 19-foot tall by 25, 30 feet wide wall.
Would your patio, though, also, because this is roofed as it is now, covered, you'd still have a roof structure? Are you still saying that that would be in your design
Well, there'd still be a roof structure,
over that back patio?
but you would see that corner of the garage, which now nothing is over, you'd create a roof to wall. Once again, it gives more interest to the home from where I am. But yeah, it's all covered, it's just that, then you don't have the deck all the way across, you have, the front of the kitchen, and then the deck is actually from the stairway over.
Madam Chair, would you mind if we took a few-minute break so that we can see the pictures and the applicant can also see the pictures? Could we potentially do a 5-minute recess for that?
Yes.
Would you mind calling the meeting into recess for 5 minutes?
We're going to call a recess for 5 minutes, please, and we'll resume in 5 minutes. You have to ask them, yes. You can ask the,
Can we see the pictures that he has?
Yes, she's asking if you can see the pictures that are on your phone, and I would ask that you also email those to planning@cityoflewisville.com so we can have those for the record of this meeting. But you can, you can just go ahead and show them right now, and then email them when you're done.
So this is the album. There's like 7 or 8 photos. One's inside the house.
So is this the house that
So
we're
this is
looking at?
inside my house, and then I probably should have circled it on the photo, but there's the roof right there. Right above.
This one over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if
So
you
this
can
is
imagine
his-
that, and you can see 9 foot
So this is his house.
That's his
And
house.
where is the roof?
That's the roof of the
House
requester.
in the garage.
So the current garage that's right there.
Okay.
Current garage.
So you can see the top of the roof now.
This is the roof, this
Okay.
side.
So I have one question, a follow-up question. Is this going to add additional cost to your remodel if you follow this plan? Is it going to add, can you estimate about how much more cost it's going to add to the remodel if,
Move it forward 7 feet there, in that corner? I'm sorry. Are you asking if I move it forward?
yeah, I mean, just, you know,
Well, that would create a whole new engineering cost, because now instead of being on the existing, all of the existing pad, we would have to engineer it based that it's not across the existing pad and the existing structure. We'd have to move it forward and take out that corner, right? And if we had to move it forward 7 feet, we'd have to pull the whole pad out too. So if we just take that corner off of the unit, it would be an engineering cost, but if we had to move the whole pad, it would be a really significant cost. Now, the question I had on these, I apologize, I'm answering a question, but then I'm also moving on. When I looked at those pictures, if you look at the crest of my home and the trees to the north of me, this is not going to exceed any of those, so it's not going to impact any view other than my own house. And so I'm trying to figure out what view it impacts, other than that there's a brick wall there instead of the top of my house. And so I understand, like, if it was looking at a lake or something beautiful, but it's looking at my house anyway.
so this engineering cost,
Yes, sir.
if it's just the engineering cost, can you give me an idea? Is that, you know, $5,000? Is that $10,000? Is it?
Well, we've already spent 12 just to validate that it can handle what we've got. That's not even including what we'd have to change it. Now, I can bring the engineer in. It's, I want to say it's Paragon Engineering here in town. They're
All right.
pretty well known statewide.
Okay, no, that's fine. I'm just trying to get a feel for if it's going to double your cost, that sort of thing.
Well, if I have to rip the whole foundation out, it's going to more than double it. Because it's basically building a house back there. And all we're trying to do is add a mother-in-law's suite back there.
Okay. All
And
right.
if we move that corner forward if we take that corner out and basically we could put a patio on the backside there, but then my patio would be looking at his, and that might be even more intrusive.
I think I'm on the same page as he is. So my question,
Oh,
well, it's also for you as well. So I'm going to address both of them, can I? So in your design, the way I'm looking at it is you have that corner pushed forward. Is that a patio that you're putting? You're just
My thought was
eliminating?
the existing garage would stay there and you bring the roof up. I'm sorry. So that's not a patio. The foundation of the original garage would not change. That's simply the first floor level of that garage, and that roof slopes up to the 7 feet where the new floor would start. So you'd have a roof to wall, once again, a little bit more interest than something straight down.
Okay. So I was looking at it as a push in and moving the portion of the house forward and then like 2 decks, basically, one in the back, one in the front. That's how I was viewing it.
I understand.
yeah, I mean, we could do that, but if we did that, then it changes the engineering. I have no idea what the cost would be. I can check with them.
It
But
would be
that-
a redesign of your.
It would
whole floor
redesign
plan.
everything, and it's not just the engineer, then it's the CAD, it's everything. Right,
It's
so it
basically
increases
starting-
our cost significantly, and then if we have to pull the whole garage, then it's like building a new house.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. May I have a motion, please?
A motion to approve.
Audra approves?
I'll second.
John approves? We'll vote. Motion passes 5-0. Michelle, are there any announcements?
I have no announcements this evening.
Okay. And then the final item on the agenda is the adjournment. May I have a motion, please?
All motion.
Kimberly, motion, second motion.
I'll second.
John, second motions. Vote, please. Motion passes 5-0. We are adjourned. Thank you.